So these, see how the feet turn way a whole bunch more at the very end? Rotating, rotating, and then the feet are turned way across the body. Okay, that's what this exercise is developing, is that coordination to rotate the knees and feet for these really loopy, fun turns. So copy me at your own risk with these exercises. Put the phone up in front of your face, that might help. So this practice, you're familiar with it. It's just a meditation. It's about 14 minutes or so. I'm going to try to articulate some of the things that I was working on in this meditation. Obviously, the foot alignment, the knee, shin, parallel spacing. So just follow along at your own risk, but and just be mindful of your movements, the symmetry. So one side matches the other, one foot matches the other. Okay, I tend to not work the knees to the right as far as I do to the left. This will show in my skiing, an imbalance in my turns that some people have seen at times. Making these same arcing movements from the side just changes the stress on the knee joint a little bit, lateral influence on it. Just seemed like a good thing to do. A little hard, you're rotating on the ball of that hip joint. Is that called the greater trochanter? I'm trying to get this to arc. It's not arcing too well all the time. It's a little uncoordinated. There the toes went higher and the heels went higher. That's what I wanted. I want to get that toes high and the heels high. Rotating. There's a pivoting of the hips. It can't all be done just rotating the leg. The hip has to move and advance with it. Just have to explore how to get this to work without irritating that high point of your hip. We go a little bit above it. The abdominals influence this control quite a bit as well. Change your focus and meditate on your abdominals. How are they engaged and moving? This is where the rotation to the right, where the knees push out, looking at the screen to the left, but my right as I'm laying there. It doesn't seem to be quite balanced. It could be the angle. But no, I think pretty much the left leg towards the chair gets a greater angle to the mat, and the right leg never goes past perpendicular. So I think there's certainly an opportunity there to develop that rotation, the movement of the knees to the right. That would be my right turn. So I've kind of moved into trying to do, this is kind of like a plank in a skier stance, a side plank. Okay, so the butt's coming up off. I'm exploring it down on my shoulders, or down on my back, lower back, and then I wanted to get alignments a little better, so I move up and get on my forearm with my elbow underneath the shoulder. I believe is where this goes. Either way, it still works. You have to be careful on the shoulder. You don't want to injure it. It's a lot of weight to be direct into the shoulder there, especially my shoulders. You can see in skiing, you're going to have your inside leg is going to be bent and shorter, just like we are in the stance. And this is creating lateral stress on the knees joint, while working some movement patterns of the feet, working towards changing edges, balancing, checking balance from one foot to the other, with my shoulder as a pivot point, or my arm that I'm supporting is my other point of the tripod. I cut the sound out of this because people were talking in the background and I didn't want to share their conversations. But what I'm discovered here in this is there's a little movement of the heel, not much, but as we change edges of the heel, work to rotate or pivot that heel along the mat, I was discovering that the front of the foot moves a lot further than that little bit of movement with the heel. So what I was exploring is limiting the range of motion on the front of the feet so they seem more symmetrically, structurally, realistic to what they would be on the ski. So creating that functional tension to limit the movement of the fronts of the feet so they always match each other. As you come across center, balanced, and tip to the other side, they're tipping not as much as they could. The front foot could twist a lot more. But I'm using some functional tension in this balancing exercise to control those feet, keeping them flexed, not all flexed, but 70% flexed. And then rotating the knees in the hip socket and the feet, keeping those in alignment. Certain this will help with skiing. It's what I do. Well, enjoy. Peace. Send some thoughts.